I mentioned Elon Musk. I would be interested to hear what you think of him, why you respect him as a person, as an engineer, as an innovator, as a businessman. I would just like to hear from you. What do you think about Elon Musk?
First of all, I had a conversation with him at the beginning of the war. I talked with him. I respect him, first and foremost. I respect the self-made man, right? In English, yes. I love such people. You know, no one and nothing fell into their lap, but the man did something, did it all himself. I worked myself, created a big production company, and I know what it means to make money, to select talented people, to impart knowledge to them, to invest money, and to create something important for certain people, you know. And I'm not comparing myself to Musk. He just, well, the man is a great leader of innovations in the world. And I believe that such people move the world forward. Therefore, I respect the result of his work. And we see this result. And for me, it has always been important that your result can be used, that these are not words, but facts. Let's take the war. We are very grateful for Starlink. It has helped. We used it after Russian missile attacks on the energy infrastructure. There were problems with the internet, etc., with connection. We used Starlink both at the front and in kindergartens. It was used in schools. It helped children. We used it in various infrastructure, and it helped us very much. And I would very much like Elon to be on our side as much as possible to support us. And yes, I am grateful to him for Starlink. Truly I am. First of all, so that our guys have a connection, and children too. And I am really grateful to him for that. I think I would like him to come to Ukraine, to talk to people here, and to look around, and so on.
Has Elon visited Kiev or Ukraine yet?
No.
I hope the Kiev airport will open soon. Then it will be easier to fly in.
Yes, I am looking forward to it. Maybe we will open it, but only. And you must understand, if the war is over, there must be sustainable peace and air defense systems, to be honest. And we must ensure that they are long-lasting and effective. Let's take the airport, for example, and let's focus on the airport in Rzeszów, which you know very well, as it is handling important cargo for Ukraine in Poland. And there are Patriot systems there, because everyone understands what the risk is. Well, Russia is a risk, and therefore we need air defense systems. And today take, for example, the air defense system of one city or another that is being shelled, and move it to the airport. Well, that would be dishonest. People are more important than planes. But there will be a moment, and Trump, by the way, I think that the war will end, and President Trump may be the first leader to travel here by airplane. I think it would be symbolic by airplane.
Again, January 25th, around that date, right? Flying in, meeting the Air Force One.
That would be cool.
Elon Musk. I will meet you there for the second time too, on the plane.
With pleasure.
Can I ask about Donald Trump? We've already mentioned him a lot, but let's focus there.
What do you admire, what do you respect about Donald Trump? And also maybe why do you think he won overwhelmingly the election in 2024, that American people chose him?
He was stronger. He was much more stronger than Kamala Harris, Biden first, and then Kamala Harris, yes? He showed that he can intellectually and physically. It was an important point to show that if you want to have a strong country, you have to be strong, and he was strong. And this number of rallies, what I said, is not a simple thing. He showed that he is strong. So he doesn't have any questions with this age and etc. Nothing. he is young. He is young here, and his brains work. So I think it's important, very important. And of course, a lot of interior questions. I understand the prices and etc. economic questions, and the questions of, you have the questions with other things.
Immigration, yeah.
A lot of things, I understand. So maybe he answered on those questions which people had.
One of the questions,
That he will finish the war.
that he will finish the war.
Yeah, for me, this is the main question. But I said that for him, he's the president of the United States. For him, his priority is his questions in the United States, and I understand and I respect it. But the second he was speaking about the world, yes, he said that he will finish the war. And I hope very much, because I think that our people really support his idea. And that's why I said it is for me. It's very, very important to have enough people around him who will have connections with him with the right things. For me, the truth is very right things. What's going on really on the battlefield? What's going on really with Putin and Russia? What he really wants, and that is just to have it. You know, before any decision, you have to be at the same level of information. And we need him to know everything from us, from you, from people in Ukraine, from people around who are really afraid that Putin doesn't want to stop the war, afraid that he will come back with his aggression.
You said that there's some things about the war that maybe Americans don't understand. So we talked about Putin. We talked about the security guarantees, but the reality of war, what's happening on the ground, what do you think that people should understand?
First of all, they have to understand the idea of Putin's war. It is very important for him. I consider this process. I think it is very important for him not to give Ukraine independence. To prevent Ukraine from developing as an independent country, for him, influence on Ukraine cannot be lost. And for him it is, I think for him, this is such a goal in this last mile, and certainly for him, the last mile and of his political life. And I think that this is the goal for him. The second story, I do not want to talk about these banalities, that he wants to return all the territories of the Soviet Union, influence over them. He does this little by little. I just don't want to... People need to know details. For example, Georgia, which was headed towards the EU and NATO, completely turns towards Russia, regardless of the fact that they have frozen conflicts. They have in Abkhazia what we have with Donbass, which is controlled by militant rebels. Abkhazia is not developing, it's just a very beautiful part of Georgia that has died. And if you have the opportunity, then go there someday. You will understand it simply died because Putin wanted to. He wanted not to allow them to develop, because a frozen conflict means that you will not be accepted in the EU, and certainly will not be accepted into NATO, because right now, yes, they do not take you because of a frozen conflict. And this is what Putin did. It's very important for him not to lose this influence. That is, he turned back Georgia, young people, students, everyone leaves, and this is a fact. Georgia is quite small, and they will leave. They want to live in Europe, they want to develop. Somebody in the United States, somebody in Europe, somebody in the EU, somebody in Britain. He will now fight for the Moldovan parliament. This is his second step. You will see in April what happens. You will see, he will start turning Moldova away from Europe. Although they want to go there, he does not care. There will be a pro-Russian party, and they will do something with the current president because she has won the elections. She is pro-European, but he will turn this back. The next steps are completely clear. He will do everything wherever he has lost influence, where there was influence of the Soviet Union. He'll turn it back as much as possible. And we understand at what price. You have seen Syria, where there was influence of the Soviet Union. He'll turn it back as much as possible. And we understand at what price. You have seen Syria. You saw these tortures, what we saw in Bucha, what we saw everywhere we came, and where our territories were occupied. In Syria, the same happened. There were 1,000 people there. And you have seen it. Scientists were found, doctors were found. It is clear that any people are capable of generating their own opinion, show their skills, develop society. Everyone who can express an opinion, everyone who can shape the independence and maturity of society, such people are not needed. And he wants this in Ukraine. And therefore, everyone should understand that Ukraine is like a large wall. From that, Europe, and if, God willing, President Trump does not withdraw from NATO. Because again, I believe that this is the biggest risk. I think two steps. Two steps that Putin would like to see is a weak NATO. And this without Trump, and a weak Ukraine, which cannot survive on the battlefield, simply cannot survive, and prevent me from building a strong relationship with Trump. I think these two steps, leaving NATO and Ukraine's weakness, will lead to a large-scale war, which Putin will wage on all the territories of that Europe, post-Soviet Europe. I mean Soviet Europe, not post-Soviet, but post-World War II period. That is Soviet Europe, Soviet-era Europe, in order to completely control everything there. This is what he will do. And besides this will happen in any case. Even if the US is thinking about leaving NATO, this war will affect the United States because North Korea is the first sign. North Korean skills, North Korean knowledge, which they are now gaining from this war. These include mastering new technologies, large-scale drones, missiles, how it works, the kind of technological war we have today, cyber war, etc. All these skills Korea will bring home and scale up in that region. And this will be a risk for the Pacific region. Security first and foremost. For Japan and for South Korea, they will face these risks 100%. And it will be clear that Taiwan will also have to face them. Without this, it is impossible. This is already happening. This is already happening. Therefore, I think that President Trump has all power to stop Putin and give Ukraine strong security guarantees.
I have a dream that, let's say, on January 25, or sometime at the end of January this year, you will sit down with Donald Trump, with Vladimir Putin, and together negotiate a ceasefire with strict security guarantees. And an agreement will be signed. What will this look like without NATO?
I will make it clear. And so, first of all, I think January 25th or some other day. Well, you just call it January 25th. And I don't mind. It's my birthday. And we sit down. First of all, with Trump. We agree with him on how we can stop the war, stop Putin. It is important for us to sit down with him. Secondly, it is very important for us that Europe which is very important for us because we are part of Europe. And not only geographically, geopolitically, but also in the European Union where we will be. For us, it is very important that Europe also has a voice. It's the second thing. It won't be long because Europe will be looking at us and will be looking at Trump. And by the way, I now see that when I talk about something with Donald Trump, whether we meet in person or we just have a call, all the European leaders always ask, how was it? This shows the influence of Donald Trump. And this has never happened before. With an American president, I tell you, from my experience, this also gives you confidence, that he can stop this war. That is why we and Trump come first, and Europe will support Ukraine's position. Because they understand that Ukraine has every right to have its voice heard in this, because we are at war. Trump and I will come to an agreement, and then and I am sure that he can offer strong security guarantees together with Europe, and then we can talk to the Russians. That's right. Not just 3 of us sitting down at once. And you still talk to me like that? Do you know how? As if Putin wants to sit down and talk, but Ukraine does not. This is not true.
I think that, yes, he is in fact ready to talk.
Did you talk to him?
On the phone or what?
How do you normally talk to him?
I don't know. Normally by the sea. The same as with you. He invites you to the sea with me. Just the 3 of us.
No, one of us may drown.
Who? Are you good at swimming?
Yes, I am a good swimmer.
You're a good swimmer. Well...
And I would like to add that if you have any contact with them, I just want to hear what happens then.
I have never talked to Vladimir Putin, but I have a feeling that he is ready, because Donald Trump is ready. I hope you are ready. And this is not just a feeling, but a dream.
I have a dream here that the 3 of you will get together in a room and make peace.
These meetings must be serious and prepared. And prepared with those who want peace. Ukraine wants peace. US wants peace. We have to sit down with Trump, and that is 100%. First and foremost, number 1. Moreover, he told me on the phone that he is waiting for us to meet, and there will be an official visit, and my visit would be the first or one of the first to him. And for him, this topic is very important. I know that he has his own matters, American issues, I understand. I heard his election program, but regarding international affairs, I think our issue is one of the most pressing issues for President Trump. Therefore, I believe very much, I trust his words, and I hope we will meet again. We need to prepare. We have many plans to build on, and they exist, and they are supported by many countries. But we need his vision. He needs to look at all these details, but his vision, please. Because he can stop Putin, because Putin is afraid of him. That's a fact. But Trump is a president of a democratic country, and he does not come for life. He is not Putin. He will not come for 25 years. He will come for his term. Please tell me. Well, for example, he came for 4 years, and for the 5th year, Putin came with a war. Will it make Trump feel better that there was no war during his time and that Ukraine was destroyed after him? Why destroyed? Putin is whoever, a killer whoever, but not a fool. He will be prepared. He knows all mistakes. He understands how we defeated his army after the invasion began. He realized that this was not a Soviet war and that this would not happen with us. He will prepare. He will let everything into arms production. He will have lots of weapons, and there will be a very large army. And you think that after such humiliation, 4 years without a war, he did not finish us. He will return and fight only against Ukraine. He will destroy everything around. And if you say there is a risk that President Trump, will withdraw from NATO, for example, This is a decision of the United States. I'm simply saying that if it does, Putin will destroy Europe. Calculate the size of army in Europe? It's just that I say it for a reason. Do the calculation. Why did Hitler conquer all of Europe then? Almost. Just count, remember, his armies of millions. Calculate what Europe has. What are the largest armies? We have the largest army. The Ukrainian army is the largest in Europe. The second place after us is 4 times smaller than us.
France.
Yes. 200,000? I think the French have about 200,000. We have 980.
So this powerful coalition of European nations.
That will not be enough.